So today we're doing the Moneyball Rebuild, and I know we've done athletics a little bit, like what, a week or two ago, but today we're doing it with a bit of a twist. We're going to be on a limited budget, which makes things a lot tougher. On top of that, we're going to be trying to focus on base percentage throughout this entire rebuild, because obviously the whole premise of the Moneyball was not only keeping payroll very limited, but that was one of the key stats that they focused on, was on base percentage. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on base percentage on top of a limited budget, and the whole rebuild is going to be a mess. I'm having a huge feeling we're going to have to move a lot of players, and a lot of players very often. So if you guys are excited about this rebuild, you want to see some more challenge type rebuilds, let's get this video to 1,000 likes. That's right, 1,000 likes. And what I'll do for you guys is I will do the same type of Moneyball rebuild, but I'll do it with the actual Moneyball roster and see if we can repeat the success of what the Oakland Athletics did, maybe even take it to the next step and win a World Series. So if you guys want to see the 2002 Moneyball rebuild, make sure you get this video to 1,000 likes, and I will do that either tomorrow or the day after, but it'll be guaranteed because I already have a roster. I have the roster. I just need you guys to hit that like goal. So if you guys enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content, and as always, get in the comment section and let me know some of the players you would have picked up if you were doing a Moneyball rebuild. Who are some of those budget beasts that you guys pick up that help out your squad? If you haven't followed any of my social media, what are you doing? Oh, they're all down in the description below. We got Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. All that stuff is down below. Go and give them a follow. If you missed yesterday's rebuild, it was a Cardinals rebuild. It's gonna be the top corner up here. Go and give it a watch if you did miss it. And that's about it, guys. Let's get into this Moneyball rebuild. Let's talk about the budget. So like I said, we're going to be doing today's rosters, which I think is going to make things a little bit more difficult. We're going to focus on a 3-year window to really try to win with this team, and we're going to have budgets. We can't ignore budgets because obviously this is the whole point of a Moneyball rebuild, and on top of that, we're going to have to change the team up a little bit. I think it's going to be a huge challenge, so I'm looking forward to it. So let's hop into the regular season and let's talk about the budget here, because obviously there's been some inflation from 2002 till now. So we got to talk about what the difference is in money. So when we look at the budget, obviously the budget is a huge part of this rebuild. That's the whole premise of it. It's Moneyball, right? So when you look at 2002, the salary sat between 40 and 41 million. It was like 40 and some change. So when you do a salary inflation calculator, or just an inflation calculator, from 40 million to today, for 40 million in today's amount, so it would be around 57 million. I have it, I'll pull it up on screen so that you guys can see it as well. But what it comes down to is it is 57 and a half, so about 58 million. And the issue with the way the budget is here is it tells the salaries for every single organization connected to the Athletics. So we got AAA, AA, and single A. So for me, I had to do a little bit of calculating, and it's around 65-ish million for every single organization that's connected to the Athletics. So what I'm going to do for this rebuild is I have to keep the salary under 65 million so that I can make this work. Obviously, we have to still find some players that fit the criteria of high on base percentage. So let's get into it. So obviously when you look at the roster, the Athletics actually have a decent roster, but some of these players really don't fit the criteria that we're looking for. Look at Ramon Laureano, fantastic fielder, but 340 on base percentage isn't bad, but we probably could find another center fielder that has a better on base percentage. Mark Canha at 396 is actually pretty solid, so that's something that we could work with, right? Marcus Semien 370, pretty good as well. We got Matt Olson sitting around 350. Matt Chapman around 340 is a little low. Chris Davis under 300, which is pretty atrocious. Steven Piscotty about 300, and then Austin Allen 282, and then Tony Kemp under 300 as well. So we definitely need to find some players that are a little bit better, get on base a little bit more, and that's kind of the whole premise of this. Pitching, really the thing that I'm going to be looking for this is low contracts, and just they're going to perform really well. So I'm going to be looking for a lot of glitchy players that sit at a very low cost to the team, because when you look at it, we got to shed about 50% of our salary. So Let's go and do that. So this is a huge pickup for us. We're going to the Reds for Matt Bowman and Robert Stevenson, 2 bullpen arms at low contracts. They're about to be on arbitration. We're going to be in a good spot. So Soria and Diekman, that's 10 million we're about to dump onto them, or about 9 million. Still works out pretty well for us. We're going to go to the Pirates, basically sticking in that central division. Edgar Santana for Yusmeiro Petit. Again, another kind of slow contract player with some pretty good per nines. All right, I'm going for Giovanni Gallegos, just one of those closers I know is going to do very well, and his contract is so low. I looked at other ones I could get, and I'm trying to look like Jordan Hicks. I don't think he's going to do like well, so I don't really know who else to go for that's on a low contract. I guess we could try out Joe Jimenez again. We could try out Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson's not a bad one. I wonder if we have any other kind of bigger contracts that I could kind of dump on them if they'd be willing to give me another couple pitchers maybe. Ooh, we might be able to work something here. What about G-Man as an extra bat, and I'll give him Chris Bassett. Does that work? You know what? What's G-Man's on base percentage? Because I'd be down for this. 363. I'm down. I'm gonna make that trade. I'm gonna go for a catcher. Omar Narvaez, one of the better like catchers in terms of on base percentage, so we're gonna pick him up. I'm gonna get rid of Myers, Grossman, and Austin Allen. Really just dump some salary on the Brewers. All right, we're gonna go to the Mets. The only problem is we have to take on Jeurys Familia's contract. We're gonna go JD Davis and Jeurys Familia for Chris Davis, Robert Poussin, and Sean Murphy. This is a big problem because I didn't want that contract because we're actually really close. We're 1 million off, so I think I'm gonna get rid of Jeurys Familia's contract, and then I'm going to figure out the rest of the lineup, see what we can do with the team. Because obviously JD Davis is going to go into left. G-Man can be our DH. And then I guess we kind of need a catcher. So let's go. Or no, we need a, what do we need here? Probably a new right fielder, but we can let Mark Canha play right field. So maybe a new second baseman, get rid of Piscotty. This is probably my last trade. I'm going to get David Fletcher from the Angels along with Brian Goodwin. Brian Goodwin's going to be our backup outfielder. And then we're going to trade Pinder, Familia, and Frankie Montas, which means we're going to need a new starting pitcher, which I think I'm just going to end up signing from free agency on a 1-year deal and just have someone fill the spot for now. I lied. One more trade, Yency Almonte. I told you a lot of trades going to be happening. That's just season 1. Let me go sign a couple players to fill out the roster, and that's going to be the team. Yency is one of those guys that I'm just looking at him as just being like a 5th in the rotation, and hopefully he does well. I've seen him do scary well for some reason, so we're going to go rock with it. All right, so after all those moves, we've shed so much of our salary. And like I said, we're going to try to stick around the 65 million mark. And the reason I went down so low was because I know I have a couple players on arbitration that I at least want to try to keep. Am I going to be able to keep them? Probably not, but it's going to be at least give us some room to work with. So we have 13 million to work with for like the future. So like players like Sean Manaea are probably going to have to trade him. So I'm going to just hold on to him for this year. But then when you look at players, you know, like that I'm actually kind of worried about, like Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, Ramon Laureano, that's why I kind of held off on trying to get a little bit better players with a little bit higher contracts, because I want to have some money to work with for the next couple seasons, because the team looks decent right now. You know, the pitching staff is kind of a mess. Jesus Luzardo, Almonte. I brought up Paul Blackburn from AAA. The bullpen, though, some sneaky players that I think will do well. And then when you look at our lineup, I really actually like the lineup. It's some of those glitchy players like David Fletcher just gets on base at a crazy level. You got JD Davis, who has a good on base percentage. G-Man Choi's got a decent on base percentage. Narvaez. You got Olson and Chapman. Like, this is actually a pretty solid team. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's go take a look at where we stand in the league. We're 16th, which isn't bad. And like I said, I wanted to have some money so that we at least could spend a little bit and possibly make some trades if we need to mix up the team. So here we are, season 1 of the Moneyball Rebuild. I'll see you guys at draft day. All right, so the draft's over. Let's take a look at our picks because I'm interested. We got Rolando Espinoza, 86 potential, 64 overall. That's okay. Eric Griggs, 74 potential, 64 overall. Not as good as I would have hoped. That's a little disappointing on that one. Jared Combs is really good with hitting and good vision, 66 overall. I picked him up because I think by season 3 he definitely could be a player that could be in the starting lineup, and his contract's not going to be that big. And then we have 75 potential, 84 potential for Omar Rosario, and then 75 potential for Eli Fernandez, who might actually just be a bench bat, like, for the future, because that's actually not too bad. 75 potential and 73 overall. That could be a player that just sits on our bench on a really low contract and work out really well. So that's our draft. It wasn't fantastic, but maybe Jared Combs, Eli Fernandez, maybe even Espinoza could make the team by the time we're done with this rebuild. So as we enter September, we might be in the playoff mix. You know, the team actually is doing pretty well, almost 90 wins. Not what I was expecting. I didn't think we were going to have this many wins, and we won the division 97-65. Who would have thought with the team that we had that we might have made the postseason? Because I'm not kidding, I didn't think we were going to. So let's take a look at the standings. We won the division by 8 games, and we're still 13th in baseball. And as a team, our on-base percentage was about 350. Okay, 367 ERA, slugging was 439, average 260. So not bad at all. We had league leaders for Marcus Semien, who I do want to keep him, but I think his contract is just going to be too much for us to handle. So I'm going to be looking at some of these stats, like on base percentage and OPS, to kind of see who potentially we could pick up to replace some of the guys that we're going to end up losing, because at one point we are going to have to get rid of like Matt Chapman or Matt Olson or Marcus Semien, just because we just can't afford to keep those guys. So I'm looking at some of these names, and G-Man's up there with the 393 on base percentage, but I'm gonna look and see, you know, who we could kind of keep, and you know, who we should possibly get rid of. So I'm trying to think of like high contact guys that we could end up keeping on the team, because I do want to keep a lot of the core players that we have, as I see Daniel Mengden and Paul Blackburn are up there for wins, but we may end up having to change the team quite a bit. Nick Anderson with saves, which is good to see that we picked up a really good closer. ERA was low for a lot of our pitchers, so it's looking like our pitching staff actually did quite well. MVP was JD Davis, JD Martinez, and Christian Yelich. Patrick Corbin and Garrett Cole. Rendon and Votto were the batting title winners. Hader and Nick Anderson was the reliever of the year, and rookie of the year Akiyama and Suzuki. It's kind of like the same deal every single time. So budget's still sitting where we are. I don't think we changed anything besides the draft picks. And then we have Sean Manaea, who had a great year, really solid season. I'm just worried that we're going to have to end up paying him a lot of money that we just can't afford to do. Daniel Mengden was fantastic. I'm going to try to keep his contract as low as possible. I want him to stick with the staff. He's one of those really good franchise pickups that you can get. Jesus Luzardo, still young. I'm expecting him to get better. Is he going to be at the top of the rotation by the time this rebuild is over? No, but at least he's going to be a solid arm for us. Yency Almonte wasn't that great. I'm hoping he could have a bounce back year. And then Paul Blackburn was actually pretty solid. Pretty happy about that one. I mean, he's actually technically supposed to be like a long reliever, so to see those kind of stats from him, I'm pretty happy. Robert Stevenson, I mean, that's kind of high. Colin Pache, I always mix it up. He actually had a good year. Edgar Santana was fantastic. That is awesome to see. He's going to be on arbitration the next couple seasons too. Perfect. Lou Trevino is one of those guys that has like one good year and then implodes after that. So this is a player I'm going to have to try to get rid of. Matt Bowman didn't do as good as I would have thought. JP Wendelken was pretty good. And then Nick Anderson was fantastic. Perfect. That's what I want to see from my closer. He's still on arbitration. That's just what I want. We'll take a look at our bench, kind of see what happened. Tony Kemp didn't have that great of a year. Brian Goodwin didn't either. So that might be a player I look to try to get rid of. Sheldon Noose or Sheldon Nouse. And Jorge Mateo. Yikes. Oof, that's tough. So let's take a look at our like actual lineup, because this is where I'm going to put most of my focus on. Ramon Laureano did fantastic. Again, probably a player that's going to jump up in contract. So we're going to have to keep that in the back of our minds. Can we keep all these players? Semien, Laureano, Chapman, Olson, Manaea, all those guys. It's going to be tough to keep some of these contracts down. JD Davis had a pretty good year, pretty solid year. Marcus Semien had a fantastic season, really good. Home runs, OPS, on base percentage, slugging, all that stuff through the roof. Matt Olson, okay, all right. I mean, if he continues to kind of go through a slump, we might get rid of him. Matt Chapman's on base percentage isn't as high as I would like it to be. Obviously, that might be one of those players that we just have to trade just because offensively he may not put up what we're looking for. David Fletcher's on base percentage wasn't as good as I would have hoped, but again, we'll give him at least one more year because his contract is so low. Obviously, we can't have every single player with an on base percentage through the roof, but that's what we're kind of trying to build this team around. As you guys can see, everyone's statistics. G-Man Choi, what are you doing, man? You're just putting just crazy numbers, and Omar Narvaez did as well. So pretty happy with the team. Pretty happy with the team for sure. Definitely going to try to keep the changes to the roster at a minimum. We might have to let 1 or 2 players go, but for the most part, pretty happy with it. I think maybe try to get one starting pitcher that isn't too expensive, but let's see how we do against the Twins, see how things go. We swept them. Okay. Didn't expect that. So what I'm going to do is, this is tough because I know my pitchers are going to be absolutely dead because they don't have the best of stamina. So I'm going to go like that because Paul Blackburn's only got like 68 or something for stamina. So game 1, we lose. Game 2, we lose. Game 3, we lose. And we're 1 game away from being swept. We get that win. Oh, we're back in it. We take the loss there, but that's okay. It's only season 1. The team is actually performing quite well. We won the division. You know, we're 2 games away from going to the World Series in the first season. That's a win for me. That's a big step in the right direction. The Nationals defeat the Yankees. Back-to-back World Series for them. And yeah, let's just hop into this offseason. Let's see what we can do. So this is the big one that I was worried about. And he had a fantastic year, topping what he did last year. And I want to see how much he wants. 12 million. Oh, that's gonna be tough because I know we're gonna have to pay a couple other guys. And I know our salary says 5 million, but like we still have to offer everybody contracts. We still have to offer people arbitration. So what I'll do is we still have Chapman, Olson. Who else could I get at shortstop that would be just as good offensively? Not many. This is tough. And that's going to be a big chunk of our budget too. Remember, we're at 65. If we offer him, 13, that's that's quite a bit of our budget right there. This is a tough situation to think about. What if I give him like a player option and see if I can like bump it down, get it down to like 11, and if he'll take 11, I'll do it. But if not, you know, I completely understand that. So let's do that. Actually, what if we do this? What is it? Backloaded? Is that what I want? I want a backloaded contract. We'll bump it down to 11 again and see what he says about that. Probably not going to take it, but if he does, that's actually kind of a good win for us. So Marcus Semien didn't accept the contract. Didn't think he would. I'll look at other shortstops that we could look at. How did Jose Iglesias do? Not as good as I would have hoped. Didi could be one of those like cheaper options. Let's see, what does he want? 4 million. That's actually something we could probably work with and kind of get away with that. That might actually be not a bad move for us. Yes, it does suck that we would lose Marcus Semien, and realistically probably not a player that we would want to lose. But if we can keep the contracts down, that means we can at least try to keep some of the core players. So I'll still try to get Semien, but it may not work out. So for arbitration wise, I'm going to offer it to everybody. I'm going to let Brian Goodwin go though. And then I'm going to keep everybody else. Like everybody else was pretty solid with the team. I think that was a good lineup that we had, good pitching staff. I'm going to offer everybody a contract as well. And this is an area where things could get a little expensive. So it's tough. And then obviously free agency, I do want to pick up some player, some pitcher or something to just kind of boost the team a little bit, but it's going to be tough trying to keep the salary down. So see you guys for season 2. All right, so we're at season 2 and we're in a little bit of a pickle, and I knew this was going to happen. Once arbitration hit, I knew we were going to be in a tough spot. So I was looking at some of the players that I was like, who do I want to keep? Who do I want to get rid of? Who is like key to this like rebuild? And I was thinking, well, like we got Ramon Laureano locked up. His contract is actually pretty favorable, right? We have Matt Olson. His contract's probably going to start going up to like the 7, 8, 9 million mark. Marcus Semien's backloaded contract as well. And I'm thinking Matt Chapman's really going to start to get to a crazy amount of money. Maybe we get rid of him. Plus his on base percentage wasn't that great. And I'm looking at other players that we have, and I'm kind of thinking we're gonna have to cut some of this. So what I'm thinking is let's get rid of Matt Chapman. Let's try to find one of those like really good third baseman that just has a really low contract and is gonna be helpful for us. So let's go see what we can find. So this is, we're obviously trading one of our bigger name players that has quite a high ceiling for potential and is only going to get better since he's 27, one of the best third basemen in baseball. I'm looking around and I'm like, we really could get any player we wanted. It doesn't matter who it is. We're really the only one that we couldn't really get was Nolan Arenado. And I'm like, this kind of makes things interesting because it's like we're about to shed a lot of money. Who do we get that would be kind of like a worthy replacement for the team? And I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't really know who. Like, obviously Brian Anderson, he brings a good glove. That would be kind of like a suitable replacement. 343 on base percentage isn't amazing, but that would be a good one. But one that really stuck out to me was obviously Vlad. And Vlad's contract is going to be kind of low. He's still kind of young. I think in real life he will probably get paid pretty soon. But just to make things interesting, why not pick up Vlad? I mean, I feel like Brian Anderson kind of fits things a little bit more, you know, getting a good replacement for Matt Chapman, 27 years old as well. But the contract is probably going to start to go up a little bit. And I'm really torn here. It's either Brian Anderson or Vlad Jr. What would you guys do? Let me know in the comment section down below, because this one's really tough. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, Vlad, Brian Anderson, Vlad, Brian Anderson. And I'm like, you know what? Just for some fun, just to switch things up, let's go Vlad Jr. So I'm looking for a reliever because I feel like Lou Trevino's really about to just tank. Like, he's going to explode. The bullpen's going to fall apart. And I'm looking for people who low salary but actually perform really well. One of those names I thought about that you guys always point out to me, Sir Anthony Dominguez. The thing for me is he never really does well. So I figured out let's hold off on him. I looked at a couple other names and I'm looking and I'm like, man, I really don't know who to go to. I thought about Brett Martin and I was like, we've gotten him quite often recently. Let's hold off on him. I thought about Ty Buttrey, but he's within the division. I guess the same with Brett Martin. And I was looking and I'm like, Scott Barlow, we've gotten him a little bit. And I'm like looking, I'm like, man, I kind of want someone that's under $1 million for salary. Who do we get? And I feel like a guy that I know I get quite a bit, but it just does really well is Yohan Lopez. I mean, he had a sub-2 ERA last year. So let's get him. Let's add him to the team. We'll throw in someone that's going to get this deal done. We're going to get rid of Sheldon Nose, Lou Trevino, and Zach Irwin for Yohan Lopez. And I feel like that's going to actually get us just in that budget range, that $65 million that I said. It actually gets us just at that range. So we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do. I think Mark Canha is going to have to leave after this year. And then I think we're going to have to trade Sean Manaea next year just so that we can get something in return. But for the most part, I like the team. Like I said, I knew we were going to have to spend some money. I knew the budget was going to be tight. So this is the team we're kind of working with this year. The only change in the pitching staff is going to be Yohan Lopez. Starting rotation is going to be the exact same. I didn't want to change it. It worked really well. Let's just leave it. And I'm going to probably trade Sean Manaea, which means we're going to get a good starting pitcher in return anyways. So that was my thinking. So for the lineup, obviously Vlad's going to hop in at third base. We are going to need to call up somebody. I think I'm just going to call up, where is he? Franklin Barreto. We'll see how he does. If he does poorly, I mean, we just need a backup anyway, so it's not like it's that crazy of a change. But I feel like Vlad kind of sits right there. We'll add Mark Canha up a little bit higher, and this is what we'll rock with for season 2. Not too many changes because I was really happy with the way the team played last year. Like, scary good with how everything went. Like, we won the division, so things are working. I just wanted to boost the team up a little bit more. Now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of wish we did the Brian Anderson trade instead, but let's just go with it, see how things go, and I'll see you guys at the end of the season. All right, so we're in September again, and holy cow, what is this team? Like, to be honest, I really was not expecting this at all. We're about to win 100 games, over 100 games. Like, that's just absolutely mind-blowing. 104-58, and what, our highest rated player in our starting rotation was 84 rated. Maybe I just need to do this. Maybe I just need to think of it as a Moneyball rebuild every single time, because we're absolutely killing it, just destroying everybody in our way. So 7 games above the Astros, who almost won 100 games as well. But you can see we're 16th. Last year we were, what, 13th in ranks, and we're still that high. We'll take a look at our team stats as well. On base percentage was sitting at 370 as a team. That's pretty impressive. Kind of working with what we want to accomplish. Semien did quite well, and I skipped the other one, but we'll take a look and see who else had it. We had Semien, Narvaez, and G-Man Choi all up there in batting average. And let's take a look and see some of these other league leaders. So one of the players that I just saw was Victor Reyes, and he was actually kind of on my mind as a player, but his on-base percentage has been pretty garbage. So I'm kind of glad I didn't actually go and trade for him. So let's keep looking, see how some of our league leaders are up there. G-Man Choi, Laureano, Marcus Semien. G-Man Choi is a beast. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So walks, we got quite a few walks on the team. On base percentage, Narvaez, G-Man Choi, and Mark Canha all up there in on base percentage. Jeez, and like Narvaez, Semien, yeah, G-Man Choi, Canha. Oh wow, we had quite a few. That's what I want to see from the team. Wins, Mangden, Luzardo, Manaya, Blackburn. I know I say Manaya and Manea. I keep switching them up. I just got to learn what it is and stick with it. But the team's actually really solid. Nick Anderson, 42 saves. This team's insane. This team is crazy good. Who would have thought? We had a gold glove for David Fletcher. Correa won MVP. That's a switch up. Mookie Betts with the Braves. What a pickup for the Braves. And so far, I'm really liking what I'm seeing with this team. Amos Curran. Okay. This team's actually doing really well. Let's take a look at our bullpen. Stevenson is just not looking like he's a long relief option for us. It looks like we may need to just trade him. And I think his contract's going to be what? About probably $2-3 million anyway. So it could be an area we look to change it out. That's disappointing. I mean, he's at a $1.2 million contract. I'm okay holding on to him for another season. Matt Bowman bounces back, has a really good year. If we can keep this contract low, I want to keep him. Yohan Lopez, just, of course we trade for him, and he just goes Lou Trevino on me and just falls apart. There's something in my eye, and it's really bothering me. So we got Edgar Santana, really solid season. Not as good as last year, but still really, really good. And Wendelken was fantastic. Even better than he was last year. Nick Anderson struggled a little bit. You know, like the whip definitely jumped up a bit. ERA as well. But we'll see. If, you know, I feel like we are kind of in a dangerous area, we might trade him. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, it's going to be... he hits free agency this year. We should have traded him. Oh, wait, no. It said we had arbitration for 1 more year. So hopefully we get to keep him. If not, we're in some trouble. I mean, I know he's going to cost a lot, but we'll have to wait and see. Daniel Mangden, again, fantastic. Luzardo, that's tough to see. Yency Almonte, again, he's going to be our 4 or 5 in the rotation, so that's still pretty good. And then Paul Blackburn, almost identical. Not as good as he was last year, but he's still putting up really good numbers. Maybe move him to that long relief spot and try to pick up a starter for us. Overall, pretty happy with how everything is. You know, maybe AJ Puck joins the lineup at some point. I mean, we have options, just not too sure where to go with the team just yet. So Kurt Suzuki as a bench bat / backup catcher, you know, he was just a 1-year player. Cameron Maybin, okay, might need to bring him back for another year. I think I did a club option, but if he's going to be like that for a bench bat, that's definitely what I'm looking for. Franklin Barreto is a bench bat as well. So yeah, the on-base percentage is pretty low, but I think we can work with that. Same with Mateo. Like the bench bats, I'm not looking for like crazy good stats, but like Cameron Maybin was definitely like one of those outliers where I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. David Fletcher, okay, like I said, I was looking to keep him around, see if he could improve, and he definitely did. So that's what I like to see. Ramon Laureano, really friendly contract, really friendly, and he only got better. That's really good for us. Marcus Semien still putting up really good numbers, and his contract's going to go up a little bit, so we definitely have to account for that. Matt Olson, about the same as what he did last year, just that run production jumped up. 9 more RBIs, 13 more home runs. Love to see it. I would like to see the on-base percentage a little bit higher, but I guess that can be our one bad on-base percentage. 369 on-base percentage for Vlad Jr., 22 home runs. Gotta love that as well. We got Mark Canha, who might, oh man, almost a 400 on-base percentage. His contract, though, is $4 million, and I mean, he's been really good for us, but we may need to go somewhere else. G-Man Choi, unbelievable season. 40 home runs almost, 114 RBIs. That is absolutely insane with the 402 on base percentage. Omar Narvaez, I know, was up there, 416 on base percentage. Great pickup for us. And JD Davis cooled off a little bit, but still a really productive season. This team is actually kind of insane. Just really good. Way way, way, way better than I would have hoped. Just by far exceeding those expectations. And as we go against the wild card team, you know we're about to get knocked out. It's just the way things are going. I think we definitely need to improve our starting pitching. I think that's one of our areas that's really just hurting us. So let's go against Chris Sale and the Red Sox. See if we can score, get ahead in the game. We actually got out of a bases loaded jam there, so that's kind of good for us. But only one hit through the game. That's kind of tough. And Jesus Luzardo, he's hanging in there. He's doing work, but we're in a tough spot. We're allowing base runners, which is kind of worrying for me. So if Luzardo can get through 6, I'm happy with that. Might have to take him out. Yeah, our team's just really maybe left him in for a little bit too long. I don't know. I felt like he was doing good. There's another run. And we're down 2 with two innings left. It's just, we've gone like absolutely cold here. A double. All right, let's take him out. Let's go Wendelken. A sac fly makes it a 3-run game. And I mean, this is a tough loss, but we got to do better. No runs scored. That's tough. Let's see what the other games were. We scored 5 and we scored 8 and we still lost. So that's tough. That's tough. All right. We definitely need to get some pitching. I feel like pitching is where we're at. And the Braves defeat the Twins. All right, let's get into this offseason. Last chance to win a World Series with the Moneyball Rebuild. Can we do it? Mark Canha, how much are you going to want? $2.5 million? Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll bring you back. $2.5 million for Cameron Maybin as well. I'm going to let Kurt Suzuki walk. Let's see if he takes that deal. If Mark Canha takes that deal, I'm happy with that. That's cheaper than what he was on. He did take the deal. All right, that's our right field spot locked down. 40-man, I might add some of those guys, but let's take a look at our arbitration. What's Vlad gonna want? You know, like that's what I'm worried about. I'm afraid the arbitration offer is gonna be more than me just offering him a contract, so I might have to do that. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to trade Sean, and then I'm gonna offer everybody else arbitration here. That's the plan, and then I definitely will have to make some changes as we go. Contracts wise, gonna offer it to everybody there. And then free agency, I do want to bring in another pitcher, but I don't know if we're going to be able to like afford it and just make it work. So it might just be another case of we're going to make a couple changes by trade come season 3. So we'll see what magic I can work, and I'll see you guys at the start of season 3. All right, so I've been sitting at trades for probably about 30 minutes, and I'm probably about to like lose my mind / just go crazy while I sit here and I stare at this trade screen. So I'm in the dilemma right now, right, where Sean Manaea becomes a free agent at the end of this year, which is like, okay, that's tough. Like, if we were to continue this rebuild, we probably wouldn't be able to re-sign him, right? He's gonna want 15, 20 million plus a season, especially with this being like his last big contract, and he's been pitching unbelievably, like one of the best. I'm also in the mindset where I want to win. Does it make sense to get rid of our best pitcher before, you know, like the season even starts? And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, really the only other big contract that we have, Matt Olson and Marcus Semien, who becomes a free agent not this year but after next year, who he's been putting up crazy numbers, unbelievable numbers. And when you look at our budget, you know, we're $4 million over, right? Where we could probably be like, okay, let's get rid of Cameron Maybin. That's one of them, right? And then maybe like another one of these like 1.8, 1.9 type situations where it's like, okay, we could get rid of some of these contracts. Like this guy, why is he getting paid so much? Like that's definitely a contract that we should be getting rid of, right? Same with the guy who's sitting in AA making almost 700,000. We could do stuff like that, be nitpicky and try to really lower the payroll so that we could make it into the price range that we're looking. The thing is, like, I don't know, man. Do I trade Semien or do I trade Manaea? Tell me in the comment section down below. All right, so this is the trade. We're actually gonna go for Caleb Ferguson. Really small contract, and we're gonna dump about 3.2 million to the Dodgers, so it's a little bit of a win for us. So trade I'm gonna make for a starting pitcher is for Zach Plesac of the Indians, about to hit arbitration, but we're gonna trade Colin, Dustin Fowler, and Julian Garcia. And I think that's not gonna do it, but we're gonna be very close. 66. We gotta find a way to shed like $1 million. All right, I'm hoping this actually just barely gets us into it. I don't think it will, but I'm just going to trade for a super low contract for the Orioles. And it actually does get us within the budget. Man, that was tough because this whole time I was thinking I was going to have to trade Marcus Semien or Sean to make this work for this year because I'm still trying to win this year. This is the year where it's like I have a good feeling about the team, and I didn't want to like take away our best pitcher or one of our best hitters. So yeah, there we go. Season 3 not in the books just yet, but you guys can see the team we're rocking with. It was unfortunate we couldn't get, you know, like Lazaro Armenteros involved or our switch hitting catcher Espinoza, who actually looks like he's going to be very, very good. Would definitely take over for Omar Narvaez. And then we had the second baseman who, where is he? Jared Combs. Literally, his fielding is bad, but his hitting stats look like they would be perfect for what we're looking for. Gets on base a lot, good contact. And yeah, that's how this is how we're going to finish it. This is how we're going to finish it. Obviously, I'm going to switch up the lineup just a bit, but for the most part, I'm really happy with what we have. Like, this is actually a pretty solid team. Mark Canha, I guess that works. So yeah, this is going to be the team. It worked out last year. I feel like we've improved the pitching, which was what was an area of my concern. So let's take a look and see where we stand in baseball. 16th, that's where we were last year. And, you know, we've come a couple games short of a World Series. So I feel like this is our year. Let's see what we can do with the team. And I'll see you guys at the end of season 3. So again, we're in September, and I think I just need to do Moneyball rebuilds every single time I do a team rebuild because the team is unbelievable. And you're probably thinking, well, your budget's going to be horrible by the end of the season or like future seasons, but we just won 170 games. 55 losses, won the division. I will take a look at the budget, see what like we would have to do if we were to continue this. And that's the first thing we'll do because like you can see we're at 65 million. Like Marcus Semien becomes a free agent after next year. You could definitely trade him next year and just try to find like a really good shortstop in the meantime. This one would be the toughest one, trying to keep Sean Manaea, but I feel like you could definitely just replace him. You have AJ Puck coming up through the system. If I would have focused harder on the draft, I definitely would have found better players and like just really tried to focus on getting good replacements. Like we do have a really good second baseman coming up. We have a really good catcher coming up. That's going to save us a few million. You know, Vlad obviously isn't going to stay at this low of an arbitration, but for the most part, trying to find cheap relievers, cheap pitchers looks like the way to go. You know, I feel like that's really what helped us out. We'll take a look at the standings. You know, again, close to a 370 on base percentage as a team. ERA is really low. Slugging average is really, really high. So the team is killing it, like absolutely killing it. No league leaders though. That's interesting. We do have 2 high batting averages, 3 actually. So you love to see that. And you're probably thinking, why didn't you get Luis Arias? Well, I think I got him in the actual athletics rebuild, so I wanted to hold off on getting him this time. So 1 triple like league leader type stat. Home runs, there's Canha, Matt Olson's up there. RBIs, Marcus Semien. So like holding on to Semien is actually really paid out for us and trying to build the team kind of around his salary, which sounds weird to say, but we actually built him on the salary aspect rather than just him himself. So Marcus Semien, Omar Narvaez, 2 on up there for on base percentage. Looking at pitchers, Mangden, Luzardo, Manaea, love to see that. For losses, we got Luzardo, Plesac, and Manaea. Okay, I haven't even been looking at National League for this. 52 saves. All right, Nick Anderson's up there with 47. ERA, we got Sean Manaea, Mangden. Love to see that. So overall, really happy with the team. We'll take a look at awards really quick. We got a Gold Glove. Andujar was MVP. He was a player I actually looked at trying to get, but I was like, you know what? Let's just not get him. Let's just not get him. Basically, what I was trying to say. And looking at the rest of the rewards, he was another arm that I looked at, but he had a 5.59 ERA season 1, so I was like, let's hold off on him. And then Wander Franco and JJ Bleday are rookie of the year. So let's take a look at our bullpen. Blackburn back to where he belongs. Low ERA, low whip, 120 innings pitched, really solid as a long reliever. Edgar Santana still really, really good. I mean, you could let him walk, hit free agency, and then just use that $2 million on another pitcher. Matt Bauman, he had a 2 ERA last year, 3 ERA this year. Yeah, the whip went up to about a 1.3, but that's still pretty solid. Yohan Lopez, Didn't really pan out. I mean, you could keep him or you could just use that money somewhere else. Caleb Ferguson was fantastic. Definitely try to keep him. He's one of the best lefties to pick up in franchise. JB Wendelken, the ERA is at 3.35, which is fantastic. But the scary thing is his whip was sub 1. That is fantastic. And then Nick Anderson, 1.2 whip, that's solid. Sub 4 ERA. I mean, it's a little high, but you know what? Again, really good year. Would I keep him? It depends. You know, if he sits around $3 million for salary, you could definitely try to get a different closer for cheaper that would do just as good of a job. So Sean Manaea was fantastic. Surprised he didn't win Cy Young. Obviously, it's the strikeouts that held him back, but really good year. 17-7 with a 1.13 whip and 2.6 ERA. Mangden, again, really good. He's a super cheap option if you're looking for a franchise pitcher. Really good pitcher to pick up. Zach Plesac, yeah, 4 ERA. The whip's at 1.2, though. Definitely a good season. Luzardo, I'll definitely take that. And Yancey as a 5 throughout this whole franchise has been pretty good for us. So, like I said, yeah, you're about to lose Sean Manaea. Bring in AJ Puck. Let Mangden be your ace. Plesac move up to the 2. Luzardo's still developing. Yancey can hold down that 5 spot. Put AJ Puck in the 4. Your rotation is still really, really strong. And your bullpen's still in a good spot, too. So, let's take a look at our lineup, see how everything went. Carlos Perez. Okay. Only 94 at bats, but still really good. Cameron Maybin, again, put up really good numbers, almost identical to what he did last year. Seth Brown, not terrible. Okay. You got another scary good bench bat. Oh, wow. 1053 OPS. And Jorge Mateo still developing, but maybe time to look for a different shortstop. And then rest of the team, David Fletcher, not as good as I would have hoped on base percentage wise, but still really good. Unbelievable for Marcus Semien. Just scary good. I would definitely try to keep him for the rest of the rebuild. Vlad, really good numbers as well. Matt Olson, he's going to get super expensive after this year. So it's one of those things. Do you keep him? Or do you get rid of him? But really good numbers. Mark Canha is just one of those glitchy options to keep on the team because he hits a lot of home runs. In real life, is he going to continue to do this? Probably not. But for franchise, definitely try to get him if you need a cheap outfielder. Omar Narvaez, again, just a really good hitter. And we have that Ronaldo Espinoza who could definitely take over for him. Almost like an identical Omar Narvaez, except for this one's a switch hitter. Really good hitting stats. Fielding is decent. Arm's kind of weak, but really good. And then obviously you have that second baseman. Where is he? Where'd he go? Jared Combs. He's already a 71. Potential went down, though. That's a little bit of a worry. But overall, still probably like a good like second baseman or a bench bat. So Ramon Laureano's only getting better. Like, that's scary. Contract still locked up for the next few years. That was a good bit of business. G-Man Choi still putting up really good numbers. That's scary. And then JD Davis is, you know, pretty consistent, and I'm pretty happy with it. So overall, very happy with the team. Scary good team. Last chance to win a World Series. Taking on the White Sox, and you know what's gonna happen. We're getting eliminated here. There's no shot we win this game. Sean's going to take the mound, which means he's not going to be ready for game 1. Looking at the team, Brandon Belt, Andujar, who's the MVP. They got George Springer, Michael Conforto, Tommy La Stella. Some big changes to the team, and we're down 3-0 to start the game. They do have James Paxton on the mound, but we're back into it. 3-2. Okay. 4-3. I like it. There we go. That's what I like to see. Let's keep adding to this, because with the way the game started, it's looking like it's about to be just an absolute slugfest. Crazy amount of runs are going to be scored. And if he can give me 5 innings, that's good. He's definitely done after that. So there we go. 6-3. And we're gonna take him out. We're gonna go to our long reliever Blackburn. Hopefully he can give us like 2-3 innings. That would be fantastic. And you know what? Let's take him out. Let's go to our setup guy, Wendelken. Hopefully he gets the job done. We let Yasmani Grandal steal second. He's got like 3 speed. But let's keep going. Keep the inning alive, maybe. Ooh, that was tough. All right, so we got a 2-run lead. Let's go to Anderson. Shut the door here. Close the door. There we go. We actually advance. Perfect. Taking on the Yankees, who knocked us out last time. And let's get Manaea there. We'll go like this. I feel good about it. So here we go. Taking on the Yankees, who knocked us out just, we were 2 games short of the World Series in Season 1. And we're facing elimination again. Very similar situation that what we had in Season 1. Can we get this W? That would be amazing. Go to a Game 7. Ooh, Mangden. Ooh, he's getting roughed up a bit. So looking at their lineup, any changes? Kyle Tucker. Obviously, they lost Andujar as well, but not too many changes to that lineup. Going against Sevy, this is going to be a good matchup pitching-wise, and I feel like it's going to be like 3-2 or something like that. Maybe like a 2-1 score line. It's pretty quiet so far, so maybe what I predicted is going to be true. And hopefully we're the winner in this situation. We at least scored there. Can we get... No. Kept him in one batter too long. That's tough. 5-1, and I think that's going to be the end of it there. Let's see. Let's go Bowman. An error leads to more runs, and I think that's our season. 10-1. Yikes. Just no pitcher had it today. Everybody's getting rocked. Everybody was getting rocked, and that's our season. And that's a tough way to lose it. That's a really tough way to lose it. 15-4, man. Just that one extra batter for Mangden, and then the bullpen even allowed things to get out of hand. Like 5-1, yeah, that's tough. And like we would have had a 5-4 game. You know, like we still kind of kept it reasonable. The bullpen really kind of fell apart for us there. That's tough because I think this is a good team. You know, Vlad going 175 hurts us. 217 hurts us. But that's, yeah, you know, half our lineup hit, 200 or below, it looks like. And then the pitching staff, I mean, it's tough to see that. But I definitely think this team by far exceeded expectations, and we actually did pretty well. Again, came 2 games short of going to the World Series, but I hope you did enjoy this Moneyball rebuild. If you did, hit that thumbs up down below. Again, 1,000 likes and we will do a Moneyball rebuild with the 2002 rosters and really try to recreate that Moneyball situation. So if you did enjoy it, thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy MLB content. Again, make sure you click that bell icon to be notified whenever a video does go live. And also in the comment section, let me know some of those cheap options that you try to get for franchise, because you saw some of them that worked in this video. Let me know some of your favorite pickups. So that's about it, guys. I'm going to leave 2 videos on screen now. Go and give them a watch if you haven't seen either of them. My most recent and also one that YouTube recommends. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.